Let's keep it moving. Another SEC game. As I touched on, a ton of great matchups. Number 22, Mississippi State, facing off against in-state rival Ole Miss, 19th in the AP poll. KenPom projecting this one, Ole Miss -6. Similar, but conversely, you are going back to Mississippi State, similar to A&M, but you're backing the Bulldogs here,
Yeah.
unlike the Aggies.
Yes. So I caught some flack of what gave you the right idea, the great idea of taking Miss State last time out. Same data that's giving me the great idea to take them this time out, to tell you the truth. Mississippi State, man, they are hyper efficient attacking the rim. They don't turn the ball over, but they can't seem to get it to go. That was an expected win over Florida, Eli. It was not just a bad game. It was a very unlucky game. Florida's good. Don't get me wrong. Florida is very good. It's very hard to beat them. But I'm just not really going to sit here and get upset when, a team that's shooting 28% from three in conference continues to do badly. It's how it works. They're not getting lucky. They need some of these shots to fall. I feel like every other year we say Miss State can't hit their shots. But this is where you want to take them. It's scary. It's not great. The shot making isn't good, but they allow the worst shots to opponents on defense, like positively. So like the best shot selection defensively in the conference, which is a big deal. That's how the physicality kind of can show up in the data, right? They don't foul a lot with the physicality, which is really important. They could definitely use to get to the free throw line. The threes that they take aren't bad. Out of the timeout, they've been good. The rim and three rate allowed on defense is great. They force opponents into the mid-range. It seems like Florida hit all those shots. They were expected to allow, 74 points to Florida. They allowed 81. They were expected to score 77. They scored 68. So a little bit of both sides of the stick being burnt. I'll go right back to the well. It doesn't really take much for me to see an expected win against Florida on shot quality score and be like, all right, should probably bet on that team again. if they actually did that, if they ran it back and they won against Florida, and you still got this line, you'd probably feel pretty good about it. So I go in with the essentially believing they did and saying I'm getting this price on a team that beat Florida. All right, let's go. Let's get it. That's it might sound crazy, but guess what? Sometimes you need to be missing a limb and walking a little different to have a different perspective and get an edge.
Yeah. And I was surprised Mississippi State couldn't take advantage of the Elijah Martin and
come
Condon
on.
injuries.
I mean, what? We beat the line by 4 points. I got plus 2.5. They close as a 2.5 point favorite, and I look silly. So it's
they opened, by the way, soft opener 4.5 point dogs.
I know, but I wasn't gonna take a soft line and try to do that and win that battle because I knew even 2.5 was fine.
Yeah.
I was already hearing reports Martin wasn't playing. The market kind of knew, which is why it moved so quickly, and then it moved even more, and then everyone piled on with the superstar not being there, and then of course, obviously, it's the most public play in the world, and they don't even come close. So get back right on them. Get back right on them. I'm telling you. Yep.
I'm with you from the standpoint that the shooting, positive variance in a route per se matches up well against Ole Miss's no middle defense because you have to be able to shoot threes against it. The no middle is aimed to prevent dribble penetration. Hubbard's got to go off in this game.
I mean, right. He's got to go off in every game, unfortunately.
That's a good point. Mississippi State 10th in SEC play in turnover percentage, and that's what Ole Miss's defense thrives on. Their ball pressure off of that no middle. When teams try to drive, you double, you trap, and you force turnovers, and that's what Ole Miss does better than arguably any team in the country. Just when you look at especially turnover balance, I love this Ole Miss team for so many reasons going into March. But when you think about creating extra possessions, number one turnover rate in college basketball offensively, so they don't turn the ball over. You have two veteran guards, Sean Padula, Jalen Murray, and
gonna make it hard for Miss State.
Yeah, and you force a ton of turnovers. I bet on another. I tacked on a little more Ole Miss futures. You can read that right up over at thelines.com. Final four, 25-1. Probably a stay away game for me. Ole Miss looking for revenge after the overtime loss to Mississippi State on January 18th. Keep in mind, Sean Padula, just 3 of 12 shooting from the three-point line in that first matchup. Now back at home. I'm looking at probably a no play in this game. If I had to bet it, Mississippi State +6. I expect it to open. What do you expect this line to open at? I kind of think it's going to be closer to 5.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked to see it closer to 5 here. That's what it should open up as, especially the in-state rivalry. I think there's probably going to be some decent action. What, Ken Palm's at 5 as well, or 6?
6, but I still think it's going to shake closer to 5.
I think it might close closer to 5. I think it'll open 6.5.
Okay. Yeah, 6.5. I would at least strongly
Maybe even 7. I wouldn't be shocked to see 7. Again, we're just seeing so much love for home teams. It's just
Yeah.
a Ken Palm +1.5 for the home teams, or -1.5 for the home teams. Technically, seems to be essentially how lines are opening. So.
Yeah, good point.